Hello, I'm Russell, and this is the second week I've been doing daily one-minute shorts about some kind of new event or information that will change Canadians culturally. There were different issues. There was animal rights, animal abuse on farms. There's meat consumption, which is erroneously being reported by different news media, whether it's City TV, Financial Times, Globe and Mail, CBC. They're all reading the reports and telling everybody the cost of meat is going sky high, but it's all the other things in a store that are actually increasing in price, and meat's the lowest. It's strange, suspicious that the media are only reporting on meat. They're focusing on the thing with the smallest increase. One of the videos focuses on, talks about surveillance, wiretapping from Canadian agencies. There are 13 agencies, and this isn't to fearmonger, 13 Canadian agencies that do spy on Canadians. And we should know about it. We should understand their justification. That will change the way we behave and interact with each other. There have been a lot of laws that have changed this week, and it will affect how Canadians behave. So these are important cultural changes. Thank you. Have you seen the scanner price accuracy code when shopping in Canada? It may be replaced by the end of 2023 with a new code. The current code is a voluntary code retailers in Canada choose to adopt. It is not law. The code gives a customer up to a $10 discount when products are incorrectly priced in store, and was created by the Retail Council of Canada, a lobbyist group for retail companies. The new proposed grocery code of conduct comes from the corporate and government consulting group Intersol, contracted by federal and provincial agriculture ministers. The code is also voluntary, with no legislation. From Intersol's website, legislation would be extremely difficult to develop a uniform, nationally regulated code, and a costly and cumbersome scenario. Should Canada have a retail code? Should the code be legal or voluntary? A woman in Havelock, New Brunswick was diagnosed with lung cancer after discovering her home's radon level maxed out a detection instrument. She has campaigned to bring awareness and encourage people to test their homes. Safe levels of radon are 200 becquerels per cubic meter. A becquerel is the SI unit of radioactivity. The curie is the unit used in the United States. 1 curie is 37 billion becquerels. According to Stats Canada, radon is a naturally occurring, colorless, odorless, tasteless gas that tends to accumulate in basements and crawl spaces. After smoking, it is the second leading cause of lung cancer in Canada. Each province has labs that will provide radon test kits with no lab fees, but postage is often charged. Sorry, Northwest Territories, none of it. No test kits for you. Indigenous people in Canada may gain some legal protection from hate. From the 17th century until 1997, more than 150,000 Indigenous children were forced into the residential school system and suffered. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada spent 6 years investigating the system, heard from and documented thousands of survivors' stories.
The Prime Minister pledged that Canada would implement all the calls to action.
Not everyone is convinced that happened. What can be done? Canada's Justice Minister, Arif Virani, is considering criminalizing residential school denialism. Private member bill is being discussed with Member of Parliament Leah Gazan to criminalize residential school denialism alongside existing Criminal Code 319 2.1, public incitement of hatred. How should Canadians learn about residential schools? Should the government put denialism into law? Have you seen Nanalan? 20 years after Nanalan's TV show ended, the creators, Jamie Shannon and Jason Hopley, Puppet Island Incorporated, have found popularity online. But that's not all these artists create. Nanalan's creators also write and sell dozens of books. A show that ran for 5 years about fast food workers called Mr. Meaty. Duck for Mayor was a series of street interviews and debates challenging Mayor Doug Ford in the 2014 Toronto mayoral campaign.
I would like your advice on how to be a good debater.
Keep addressing the issue that's being debated rather than going off on tangents.
Stay on topic.
Puppets have also made appearances in Kid Rock's Tennessee Mountaintop music video. What is your favorite show Shannon and Hopley have made? What would you like to see these puppeteers create next? 13 Canadian federal departments are using tools for extracting personal data from phones and computers, Radio Canada reported. These tools are used to bypass passwords and encrypted files. Who are the departments and what are the tools? Fisheries and Oceans Canada, Environment and Climate Change Canada, Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission, Canada Revenue Agency, Shared Services Canada, Competition Bureau Canada, Global Affairs Canada, Transportation Safety Board of Canada, Natural Resources Canada, Correctional Services Canada, Canada Border Services Agency, National Defence, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Equipment and Software Companies, Celebrite, Magnet Forensics, Grey Shift. These are possible violations of the Privacy Act Section 7 and Criminal Code Section 184. Should government agencies have tools to access computers and phones? If yes, what justification is there to view personal data? Animal activists and legal group Animal Justice have broadcast shocking videos exposing Canadian farmers who abuse their animals. What is the Canadian solution to people discovering animal abuse? Bill C-275. The current Health of Animals Act, Section 9, prohibits farmers from keeping and spreading diseased animals. C-275 alters Section 9 to punish trespassers who could reasonably be expected to result in the exposure of the animals to a disease or toxic substance. In addition to trespass, animal activists who film abuse may soon face maximum punishments of an indictable offense with fines up to $100,000 or 1 year in prison. Compare this with the Criminal Code Section 445 against animal abuse, with a maximum punishment of summary conviction with fines up to $10,000 or 2 years in prison or both. How should livestock be protected from abusive farmers? How should farmers protect their livestock from activists? Do you like meat? Canadian media has an annual tradition for you. Every December since 2010, Dalhousie University and the University of Guelph have published Canada's Food Price Report, and Canadian media reports that Canadians eat less meat due to increased prices. This contradicts market data from Statistics Canada and FCC Economics that Canadian meat producers are selling more meat year over year. Meat production is up for domestic consumption and exports. If Canadians are actually eating less meat every year, when will the typical Canadian meal contain no meat? Why is meat production up annually? Why do reporters focus on meat prices when vegetable costs increase some years more than meat?